Hey, what's happening? Happy Cinco de Mayo. May 5th, 2023. My name's Luke. And if you're checking out my video, thank you. I hope you've liked it, subscribed to it. I enjoy doing these. So today was a big day for me. Had a cataract taken out of my left eye. So a little backstory to that. When I was 21 years old, my junior year in college, I was living up in Omaha, Nebraska, and I got really sick, and I had to be in the hospital for a total of about 10 days. Ultimately had a kidney biopsy, and they found out I had nephrotic syndrome. It's called minimal change disease. And while I've lived with it for, almost 26 years, it's been tough. I've been on chemotherapy. I've been on several different immunosuppressive drugs. But the first one that they tried me on was prednisone. And if anyone has been on prednisone, then you know the nasty side effects. So prednisone's nice in that A, it's cheap, and B, it's effective. It treats a lot of different, diseases and disorders in the body. So my first round of trying to put myself into remission with my nephrotic syndrome was high dose of prednisone. So I was on 140 milligrams of prednisone. That's enough to kill an elephant. But hey, I'm still kicking. Had one of the best nephrologists. The guy saved my life. I owe a lot to him, and I think about him a lot. But the first round of defense, trying to get me back to feeling healthy back then, was the 140 milligrams of prednisone. And at the time, my nephrologist said that I may develop cataracts. Okay, I'm 21 years old. I'm not getting a cataract. Wrong answer. Took about 3 or 4 months, developed cataracts in each eye. So I've lived with those for almost 26 years, and it was just getting harder and harder to see at night, driving. And then now that I have this left eye done, so my right one will be done in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. So then I will have both my cataracts removed. And I'm pretty excited for that. It's a little weird right now. So like if I cover my cataract eye, like the wall, and that picture behind, it's on like yellowish paper. The wall is white, obviously. And when I do this, the wall looks really tan, and the paper on that picture on that poster on the wall back there, it looks really dark brown. So it is amazing the vision out of each eye. So the cataract was taken out. I went into surgery about 7 o'clock this morning, and I told them I didn't want to have a whole lot of the pain medicine or whatever. I wanted to be alert, and so they didn't give me a lot. So I remember the entire process. So the doctor I have, Dr. Philmeyer, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He's out of Omaha. Fantastic guy. He's a few years younger than me, and he's been doing this for a long time. And he's got a soothing voice, so anytime you have a scalpel going into your eye, you pray to God that his hands are steady and everything is accurate as far as the cuts. So got wheeled in right about 7 o'clock. I joked with the people. So when I went to the operating room, they opened it up, and I said, wow, I said, this kind of reminds me of that scene in Willy Wonka when Mike TV walks into that room before he gets shrunk. But, and they all laughed, so then I started, singing the Oompa Loompa song. And so I was just really relaxed, really chill. I was in a good spot. I was a little bit anxious going in. Anytime someone takes a knife to your eye, doesn't sound good on paper, does it? But no, my surgeon was awesome. And so the lens I got, so check this out. So I got a little card, and I get to carry this. Actually, it's going to be probably on my fridge, hanging on the side of the fridge. But it's my patient lens implant card. So the lens that I got implanted, so it took about 5 or 6 minutes for him to go into the side of my eye. He was talking to me the whole time. He said, all right, I'm taking out the cataract. And I could see, stuff getting removed. There were 3 lights And so sometimes, I was kind of like looking off in the wrong way. So he'd kind of steer me back. He'd say, no, you need to look at the light. I'm like, well, which one? There's 3. But as long as I was looking at one, then that gave him, precision. So he put in this Vivity Toric. And the reason why I had to go with that one is because I have astigmatism. So the lens on each of my eyes, it's more shaped like a football versus like a circular, like a moon. So I had to go with this Vivity Toric. And I think he said that it's going to give me exceptional distance and intermediate vision, and then like up close with a cell phone, it should even help. I may need some readers, but I've been wearing glasses ever since I had these cataracts, so it's going to be quite remarkable to not have to wear glasses. And I looked, in the mirror in my bathroom, and so this eye, the left eye that got worked on, the pupil's still about twice the size as my right. So that's going to settle down. So I couldn't drive today. Bummer. I wanted to go celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So I'm going to be in. Can't drive. I'm supposed to have play practice tonight. Also can't go there because I can't drive. But that's going to be short-lived. Life's going to return to normal for me. And then in 2 weeks, I'll be having it done in this eye. So I'll have to rinse, repeat, recycle. But I would say in about a month, I'm going to not need glasses at all for correction. And my vision's going to be great. But this Vivity Toric, it's a great lens. Insurance didn't pay for it, so I had to pay a bunch out of pocket, but it's money. So I have to put a drop. So they sent me home just with this little bottle of drops and this little thing I gotta put over my eye. I gotta tape it when I go to bed. But I just put 1 drop in once a day. And so I don't have to today because I probably got a zillion drops, in this left eye. But so surgery took, like I said, like 5 or 6 minutes. And I remember the entire thing. When he took out my cataract, then he said, it seems longer than what it is, obviously. It's probably only like 30 seconds or a minute maybe. And he said, okay, so I'm going to put the new lens in. And then he did, and I could kind of feel just a little bit of pressure around my eye. Nothing painful. I did not feel pain at all. Like even when he made the incision, they put numbing drops in my eye. I did have a little bit of something in my IV to kind of relax me. But like I said, I didn't ask for much. So I remember the entire surgery. I remember when it was done, I was like, holy smokes, this is it. Got in the wheelchair, they took me out, and here I am. Not even 12 hours post-surgery. And it was kind of weird. So I did a selfie and I put it out on my Facebook. So in the selfie, it looks like my left eye is like got a blue tint, like a blue tint. And my right one looks brown, but they're both brown. So it must have just been a glare or something. But it certainly looked like I had 2 different color eyes, which was kind of cool. But yeah, so that was my excitement for today. So I'm not even 47 yet, but I have a, cataract surgery. And it's kind of luck of the draw. Like I said, when it comes to health, I've had some issues. Type 1 diabetic, kidney disease, had my hip replaced. All as a result of kind of all the medicine that I've been on throughout my life. But life's good. I have no complaints whatsoever. Feeling good. Excited for the play that's coming up. And things are just going good. So I do want to talk about some music because I always like to talk about music. So today I'm going to talk about the Wallflowers. This album. So on the sticker it says 20th anniversary. Obviously this came out in 1996 and it's 2023. So even though I just got this record like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So I think what happened, so they must have had like a shipment that got lost because this record was really hard to find and it was commanding a lot of money. And so on Facebook, I belong to a couple vinyl groups, and you can kind of, it's just a really kind of cool place where people share. So, places where you can buy vinyl. And I saw this listed maybe a month or 2 ago. I was like, oh, I got to get it. And then by the time I clicked on the link, it was sold out. So then, 3 weeks ago, it came back up. And instantly I clicked on it, I bought it, thank God, because it sold out really quick again. But this is 20th anniversary, so I don't know what happened. If they just pressed a certain amount of these and then, a case or 2 got lost in the shuffle and they're slowly releasing these out to some record stores. But I bought this at a record store in the state of Ohio, and they shipped it to me. And I got it for much cheaper than what it was commanding. So, you know, I don't know what the story was for the 20th anniversary pressing, but, you know, 96. So we're coming up on 26, 27 years old that this album is. And a little bit about it. So Jacob Dylan, if you know Bob Dylan, I'm sure you've heard that name. Jacob is his son, and he's the lead singer in the Wallflowers. And this was his first big commercial success. And to date, it's his biggest album. So it sold 4 million units, which is no small potatoes. And it had 4 hits, 4 radio hits. So I'm sure you've heard One Headlight, 6th Avenue Heartache, 3 Marlenas, and then The Difference. So those were his 4 radio hits. The end of 96, pretty much all of 97. These songs just dominated the airwaves. So I was really glad to get this on vinyl. Not a huge Wallflowers fan, but I've always liked this album. And it brings good memory. So, you know, 96, 97, that would have been my, you know, sophomore, junior year of college. So listened to these guys a lot back then. And I've never seen them in concert. I've never seen Bob Dylan in concert, but I've always admired his music. A little bit about this record. So there's some really good steel guitar throughout the songs. And, you know, I'm trying to think. Or slide guitar, steel, whatever. So 6th Avenue Heartache has, you know, really good solo on that. And then the lead singer, Adam from Counting Crows, he does backup vocal on 6th Avenue Heartache. So I really like that one. So the order of the songs on this record, so it starts off with One Headlight. So that's kind of got special meaning for me today, right? One headlight. Like I only got good vision out of one eye right now, but it's all going to be short-lived. I'm going to have great vision out of both eyes, so I'm super stoked. But so One Headlight, I really like that. It's just kind of this poppy, kind of a sad. And in fact, Jacob Dylan even said, you know, that a lot of this album was written kind of, you know, like despair, and maybe a little bit of depression was kind of circling throughout his head when he was writing some of this music. And he lost some key people, you know, friends. I know one of them had cancer and was going through that. And then by the time that this was released, I think they had passed away. So, I mean, anyone that's lost a friend to cancer or is dealing with that, you know, puts you in a different place mentally. So, Jacob Dylan did a great job on this record, Bringing Down the Horse. So, like I said, side 1 on this album is One Headlight. Absolutely love it. Not only does it have social meaning, like I said, because, you know, my eye, or today, but I also ride a motorcycle, so it has one headlight. And so I've always enjoyed that one. A lot of times I'll wear headphones when I'm riding my motorcycle. And I like to start off with One Headlight. You know, it's just a good little fun song. Song 2 on side A is 6th Avenue Heartache. Like I said, the chorus has Adam from Counting Crows singing along, helping. And then that slide guitar is just remarkable. And that's a really, really good song. And then the third song on side A is Bleeders. Pretty cool. And throughout this, there's really good piano. There's a Hammond organ. Like I said, the slide guitar, steel guitar. And then Bob Dylan's son, Jacob, just his vocals are kind of like that lazy, kind of how Bob Dylan's are. But I just like the way he sings and kind of, you know, there's certain words that he says that you really have to think. And so I think it's fantastic. Side 2, Laughing Out Loud. And then it goes to Josephine. And then God Don't Make Lonely Girls. That's kind of a cool song. Excuse me, that's side 3. Gosh, my vision is not on point. So those 3 songs I just mentioned are on side 3. Side 2 has 3 Marlenas, which was a big radio hit. The Difference, super good poppy song. Love that one. And then Invisible City, which is the third song on side 2. And Invisible City is probably my favorite song on this record. It's slow. Lyrics are just pretty solid. I really like it. And, you know, it's a little sad, I guess, you know. One of the lyrics I really like on that, so he says, cheap lovers make expensive wives. That's true, right? Doesn't have to be wife, can be husband, whatever. But cheap lovers make expensive wives. Keep that in mind, my friends. There's a little bit of truth to that. There's probably a lot of truth to that. I'm not here to steer you one way or the other on that. And then I mentioned side 3, kind of got out of order, my vision, reading this. And then side 4 finishes up with Angel on My Bike. That's a cool little upbeat, just rocking song. And then it finishes up with I Wish I Felt Nothing. So like I said, it sold 4 million copies, and it's a staple for any Generation X, which is the generation that I follow. There was a time period where these guys were just the ticket to see, and I should probably go see them sometime. I think they got a new album out maybe within the last year or two. I need to check it out on Apple Music. But yeah, life is good. This eye, like I said, things are so much brighter. And once my pupil gets back to the normal size is the right one. And my doctor kind of tested my vision today at around noon, so about 5 hours post-surgery. And he said that he was very pleased with where I was at. And so we shook hands, had a good conversation. He's a busy guy. He did like 20 surgeries this morning. So I was the first one. And then I came back, like around noon. So he's cranking these out. And then in between surgeries, towards the tail end of his morning, he's going in and visiting patients like me, and then going in, having surgery, coming back, meeting the next patient. So he is fantastic. I'm really overjoyed with the way that he handled me throughout the process. I'm glad that I was awake and can remember it. I had a little bit of, sedative, but I was awake and I could hear him and I could talk. And it was just really soothing and gentle. It was nothing, as you have a knife come into your eye, you would think that you're going to shake your head, but you're kind of in this like seat that kind of locks your head, and they put like a towel over, and then your eye is, open. And you just follow his commands, and it's just very relaxing. So I got a toric lens, the Vivity Toric. So if you're watching this and you're on the fence on whether the Vivity Toric is for you, like I said, I'm not quite 12 hours into this, but I'm happy with it. The colors, it's so weird. It's like I got like a cellophane like covering over my cataract lens, and you don't really know it because you live with it, and it slowly progresses, but I'm seeing good. And it's kind of strange to have 2 different colors and whatnot, but life's good. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're able to go out and celebrate a little Cinco de Mayo, have a taco burrito, maybe a margarita, maybe a cold Tecate, Dos Equis, Corona, all the good Mexican beers that I enjoy. But until next time, check out the Wallflowers, Brining Down the Horse. It's a good album. And hope you're doing great. I'm doing great. We'll see you. Bye-bye.